Breathing is something we do all the time, but we often forget about it. It happens without our thinking, like the beating of the heart. But when we stop and notice our breath, we start to see something very important. The breath is a mirror. It shows us the truth of how life moves and changes. When we are calm, the breath is soft and smooth. When we are afraid, it becomes quick and shallow. When we are excited, the breath rises higher in the chest. Every feeling we have, every moment we live, the breath reflects it back to us. It is always honest. It does not lie. In this way, the breath can teach us about acceptance. It shows us that nothing stays the same. We cannot hold on to a single breath. We cannot force it to stay. It comes and it goes. Life is just like this. We meet good times and bad times. We meet joy and sorrow, but none of them stay forever. They all rise and fall, like the breath. Many times, we want to control our lives. We want to hold on to what feels good and push away what feels bad. But the breath teaches us something different. It teaches us to watch, to understand, and to allow. We do not need to fight. We do not need to run away. We can simply be with what is there, just as it is. By paying attention to the breath, even for a short time, we can begin to understand this truth. We start to see that acceptance is not giving up. It is seeing clearly. It is living with open eyes and an open heart, trusting that life will carry us, just as the breath does. Many people think that breathing must be controlled during quiet moments. They try to breathe deeply or slowly on purpose. But today, I invite you to try something else. Instead of controlling the breath, just notice it. Let it be however it is, whether fast or slow, shallow or deep. When we stop trying to change the breath, we begin to see it more clearly. Sometimes it is uneven. Sometimes it feels tight. Other times it flows easily. There is no need to fix it. There is only a need to notice. This simple act opens a door inside of us. It is a door to understanding how we live each moment. In life, we often try to control things around us. We want people to behave the way we like. We want plans to go exactly as we imagine. But very often, life has different ideas. When we try too hard to control everything, we become tired. We feel stress and disappointment. The breath teaches us another way. It shows us that we can live with what is happening right now, even if it is not perfect. By simply noticing the breath, without changing it, we practice letting things be. We accept the breath as it is, and slowly, we learn to accept life as it is. This practice is gentle, but powerful. Over time, it softens the tight places inside us. It shows us that we do not need to force every moment to be different. We can live with greater ease, just by seeing clearly and allowing life to unfold, breath by breath. Breathing has a natural rhythm. It rises and falls without needing our help. Inhalation comes, filling the body with air. Then exhalation follows, letting the air leave again. This simple rhythm has been with us since the moment we were born. It stays with us through every experience in life. When we take a moment to notice this rhythm, we begin to see something very deep. The breath does not rush. It does not try to skip steps. It does not hold on to the air or push it away too soon. It simply follows its own path in a natural flow. In this way, the breath shows us how life can move when we trust it. Many times, we live as if we are in a race. We want everything faster, bigger, better. But life is not a race. Life has its own rhythm, just like the breath. There is a time to gather in and a time to let go. There is a time to act and a time to rest. By paying attention to the gentle movement of breathing, we remember this truth. We can see that we do not have to force ourselves all the time. We do not have to always be busy or always be achieving something. We can allow ourselves to move with the natural rhythm of life. When we trust this rhythm, we feel more balanced. We feel more at home inside ourselves. The breath teaches us that we are part of something greater, something that moves in its own perfect timing. We are not separate from life. We are life, breathing in and breathing out, just as the world turns and the seasons change. Each breath we take is new. It has never been breathed before, and it will never come again. When we begin to notice this, something changes inside of us. We can start to welcome each breath just as it is, like a guest arriving at our door. Sometimes the breath feels strong and full. Sometimes it feels weak and small. Sometimes it is easy. Sometimes it is hard. But no matter how it feels, each breath is a part of our life. If we only welcome the good breaths and reject the hard ones, we are rejecting parts of our own life. True acceptance means welcoming every breath, every time. Welcoming does not mean pretending everything is easy. It means making space for what is here. It means saying, "This too belongs." Even the breath that feels tight or painful has something to teach us. It reminds us that life includes every kind of moment, not just the comfortable ones. When we learn to welcome each breath, we also learn to welcome each moment of our life. We begin to understand that we do not need to push away what feels difficult. We can open the door to it, look at it with gentle eyes, and say, "You are part of this life too." Over time, this practice builds a strong and peaceful heart. It teaches us to stay present, even when things are not perfect. We learn that welcoming does not make the hard times disappear, but it makes us bigger than the hard times. Our heart grows wide enough to hold it all, the easy breaths and the hard breaths, the sweet moments and the bitter ones, all together as one life. There are times when the breath does not feel easy. It may be tight, heavy, or uneven. Maybe we are sick, tired, or feeling strong emotions. In these moments, it is natural to want to fix the breath, to make it smooth again. But sometimes, no matter what we try, the breath stays difficult. When the breath becomes hard, it teaches us something important. It shows us that not everything in life can be made comfortable. Some things simply are the way they are. We do not have to like it, but we can learn to be with it. We can learn to stay. Staying with a difficult breath does not mean forcing ourselves to suffer. It means being kind to what is happening. It means saying to ourselves, "It is hard right now, and that is okay." We can give ourselves permission to feel the difficulty without judgment. In life, there are many kinds of difficulties. Some are small, and some are very heavy. If we run from them, they often chase us. But if we turn toward them, even just a little, they start to lose their power. They are no longer monsters we must fear. They become part of the landscape we walk through. Breathing through difficulty teaches us that we have the strength to face life as it is. We do not have to make everything perfect to find peace. Even when the breath is rough, we are still alive. Even when life is painful, there is still a beating heart within us. That heart can learn to stay, to soften, and to live fully, even when the road is not smooth. Breath is always changing. Sometimes it is long, other times short. It may be deep one moment and shallow the next. These changes happen naturally, without needing a reason. If we try to hold the breath still, we become tense. But when we allow it to change, we begin to learn patience. Patience is not about waiting quietly with a smile. It is the strength to stay with something, even when it moves slowly, or not the way we want. The breath teaches us this by showing us its own pace. It comes and goes on its own, like waves in the ocean. We cannot hurry it. We cannot control it. We can only stay with it. This is the same with many parts of life: healing, takes time. Understanding takes time. Even simple changes in habits or thoughts take time. We may want quick answers or fast results, but life moves in its own rhythm, just like the breath. When we sit with the breath and let it change freely, we are practicing this kind of patience. We say, I don't need to fix this. I will stay with it. Over time, this helps us in daily life. We become less reactive. We are not so quick to fight against change. We become more steady, more able to wait and watch things unfold. Just as the breath changes from moment to moment, our feelings and situations also rise and fall. With patience, we can meet each one gently. We learn to trust that things will shift, even if we do not know how or when. The breath reminds us, change is not a problem. It is simply a part of life. Many of us grow up believing that we must be perfect. We try to be strong all the time, to never make mistakes, to always feel happy. But life does not work that way. Life is not perfect, and neither are we. And that is not something to be ashamed of. It is something to understand and even to honor. The breath shows us this truth. It is not always smooth. It does not always come at the same pace. Some days it feels open and full. Other days it feels stuck or tight. And still, the breath continues. It keeps us alive, even when it is not at its best. In the same way, we can continue to live with care, even when we do not feel perfect. We can still be kind, still be present, even when we feel broken or tired. Peace is not found in perfection. It is found in accepting that things are sometimes messy and loving them anyway. When we stop trying to make everything just right, a softening happens. We breathe a little easier. We stop fighting against ourselves. The breath becomes a friend, not something to fix. Our thoughts become quieter. Our hearts become gentler. Through this, we discover that we don't have to wait to be perfect before we can rest. We don't have to reach some special state before we can feel peace. Right here, with the breath as it is, with life as it is, we can rest. We can stop running. We can say, this moment is enough. The breath, in all its imperfection, continues to carry us. And in that, we can find deep peace. If we listen closely, the breath has something to teach us. It does not speak with words, but with movement. Coming in, going out, again and again. It does not argue or resist. It simply shows up, no matter how we feel, no matter what we are going through. It accepts us completely. This is the lesson of the breath. True acceptance is not about agreeing with everything or liking every moment. It is about letting things be what they are, without pushing them away. The breath does not ask us to be calm or joyful before it arrives. It does not wait for us to be perfect. It is with us in fear, in anger, in joy, in sadness. When we pay attention to this, something begins to shift. We start to see that we too can learn to be more accepting. We can stop fighting against what already is. We can say, this is what I feel right now. This is what is happening. And we can let that truth exist without turning away. This kind of acceptance is not weakness. It is a deep strength. It is the strength to be real, to be present, to be open to life as it comes. Not because life is always easy, but because we no longer need to run from it. The breath is always with us, through every change and every challenge. And if we allow it, it becomes our teacher. It reminds us that life moves in cycles, and we are part of that movement. Acceptance is not something we have to force. It is already there, waiting in each breath we take. We have traveled together through the quiet path of the breath. Along the way, we have seen that each breath carries a lesson about change, about patience, and most of all, about acceptance. The breath does not need to be perfect to be valuable. It only needs to be noticed. In the same way, Our lives do not need to be perfect to be meaningful. They only need to be lived, moment by moment, with openness. In watching the breath, we learn to stop chasing what we think should be, and begin to care for what already is. Even the breath we do not like, even the one that feels tight or shallow, has its place. It belongs. This quiet truth, though simple, can bring great peace. As you continue your own path, I hope you will return to the breath from time to time, not to control it, but to rest in its rhythm. Let it remind you that you are alive, and that your life, just as it is enough. Before we part, I wish to share my deep thanks. Thank you to those who have taken the time to watch and listen. For those who have left kind comments, press the like button, subscribe to the channel, or supported through super thanks or membership. Your presence and encouragement mean more than words can say. I am sincerely grateful. May the breath continue to guide you gently, through both the still moments and the storms. And may you find peace, not in reaching for something far away, but in returning to what is already here, breathing with you, always.